everyone, and welcome to a special episode of Couch Soup's Watching Now podcast. I am Michelle, and you may know me from Decoding Dragons, but I am your host for today. I am joined by two integral members of our community. So, in this episode, what we're going to be discussing is anything that we're watching now. Guess what? It's a Watching Now podcast. And we're going to keep it limited to TV shows, so we're not going to get into movies. But it's going to be more of a roundtable discussion. It's not going to be very structured. So before we get started, we're going to go ahead and go around and have some introductions. So, Tim, let's start with you. Where can people find you, and what are you doing?
Well, currently I'm sitting alone in a room. Now, I'm Tim. I am the host of the FSF Podcast. You can find us on all socials at fsfpodcast.com. I'm also a contributing writer on couchsoup.com, and I'm probably the one who's annoying you with more of the Star Wars articles as of late. Yeah.
It's a lot of Star Wars articles.
A lot of Star Wars articles as of late.
Tyson, who are you, and where can people find you?
Oh, you just spoiled it. I'm Tyson.
Oh, hey!
Here I am. You can find me on nowhere. I'm not doing anything with my life, but I do have a Instagram account at Tysonio1. You can find pictures of furry creatures, including myself as one of those furry creatures.
Specifically raccoons. An actual
I'm
raccoon.
not that furry. An actual raccoon. They're not legal.
Oh, good.
But I'm also trying to make a movie. Breaking the law.
Yeah, tell us about
Trying
your
to make
movie.
a movie. It's good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good talk.
No, thanks.
Those are
Thanks.
great
We'll
notes.
talk it up. Yeah. Yeah.
So let's get moving on what we are watching. And I think the best way to do it actually is going to be by platform. So we're going to name the platform first, and then we're going to go into either what we're watching on that platform, even if it's an older show that we have already visited, anything that we're looking forward to, so we can talk about what's on our list, or anything that is current that we're watching. So Netflix is what we're going to start with. Might as well start with a heavy hitter. Tim, are you a Netflix watcher?
Not a ton. There's not a ton on Netflix that I do watch, but the thing I'm watching right now is Star Trek Prodigy.
Good
so,
choice.
Yeah, well, see, for me, for many years, I did not watch any form of Star Trek whatsoever. Star Trek was the ugly redheaded step cousin in the room that I didn't pay attention to.
You better watch your mouth.
Yeah. No, but I was more Star Wars. There was not any laser swords, and there's a definite lack of pew pews and all these things. But I was told by somebody, like, hey, you like Star Wars, Clone Wars, give Prodigy a try. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a try, and I loved it. I loved the season 1 of Prodigy, and
okay,
so
good.
that, and I got a chance to interview Aaron Walke, who's the producer and writer of the show. And as I was talking to him, I told him, like, this was my gateway drug into Star Trek. This is how I got started. I watched Prodigy season 1, and then I watched some Lower Decks, and then I was like, okay, well, I was like, if these two shows are good, then maybe I'll like something else. And then I went to Strange New Worlds, and now I'm into like season 4 or 5 of TNG. I've been kind of watching it on through. So, yeah.
Are you gonna watch Picard?
I am, yeah. Yeah, I've enough people that that's one of the cool things about my show is I've had opportunity to interview enough people from, all these different series, is that I kind of feel obligated to go watch the shows that they have been in. That, I interviewed them for one reason, but they were also in a Star Trek show somewhere, so I feel obligated to go watch them in that Star Trek show as well. But I absolutely adore Prodigy. I like the fact, most people are going to, if they discredit it, they're going to discredit it because it's animation. Oh, it's a kid's show. It was put on Nickelodeon. And that's not really a fair assessment, because as I told Aaron Walke, one of the things I love about this show is that there's a real sense of danger for the kids. They have actual scenarios, and look, it is a kid's show. Let's not sugarcoat it. It is a kid's show. but then again, so is Clone Wars. But
So's Bluey, and you're a huge fan of that too,
well,
right?
exactly, right. And I don't even
Right.
have kids.
I know
And
so
I
many
don't even
parents
have
that
kids
love
of that
Bluey.
age even. That's the thing. Um, but
Well,
the thing
now it just became creepy, but
well, I have a grandson now, so
oh, there we go.
Oh.
But the great thing about Star Trek Prodigy is that so there's these kids. Yeah, they're not going to be killed off because they're the main characters, but they are put in.
Oh, then I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's a serious lack of blood. You're not going to be
Ugh.
I want to see kids get killed. Come on.
right.
I'm out.
Where's our
Edited.
captain? He's decapitated. So yeah. There's good storylines, and there's this real sense of danger in the show, and the kids actually things aren't just like handed to them. They actually have to figure things out. They have to work their way through problems. And so I like that there's a problem solving component to this, and there's an actual danger component to this, and then like many things elsewhere in the Star Trek world, there are times even with this show where I have to stop the show and because I'm thinking about what that means for real life today.
I love that.
Because as much as I love Star Wars, there's never been a time where I have been watching an episode of Star Wars and I'm like, I think I should pause that for a second and reflect on how that'll affect humanity.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, I adore Star Wars in every form and fashion, but I've never had that response until I watched Star Trek. And when I watch Star Trek, even with Prodigy, I have to pause it at times because I have to think about the hope that it engenders about humanity moving forward and what this could mean for humanity moving forward.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. I grew up with a Trekkie. My dad is a Trekkie, which then inevitably turned me into a Trekkie. Not quite as knowledgeable as him, but we grew up watching the original series and the Next Generation and all of the iterations in between.
Sure.
I mean, Strange New Worlds is just peak Star Trek for this 90s kid. Absolutely. And Lower Decks is amazing, and Picard was phenomenal. But anyway, that is one of the best things about Star Trek is it does pause you for a minute, or you pause it technically, and then think about the world beyond what they just showed you. I even stop it sometimes to be like, how would I get out of that? Like, this is
right.
Technically, it could be a real world scenario. How would I escape this? And it's awesome. It's phenomenal.
When you just get beamed up and
you could. What if it's a
isn't
problem
that
on the
the
ship?
answer?
Not always.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes they can't beam them up. Sometimes the beamers are broken.
Oh.
And yes, I know they're transporters, kids. I called them a beamer. Just relax.
I was letting
Is that kind of like a boomer, but these are the beamers?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, beamer.
Is that the next generation?
Oh, why?
Okay, beamer.
I must confess, the only Star Treks I've ever done were the J.J. Abrams movies.
Okay, I mean,
which I
they're
thought were
solid
really great.
movies. Yeah,
those are valid.
Yeah.
Especially, I just rewatched them. The end of the second one, it's even though I've never seen any of the other Star Treks, I know that they were saying stuff. He was like, "This is I can't remember the monologue now, but he did a monologue. He's like, I think I've heard that replayed on the OG series, right?
Yes. Yeah. So
some speech.
Yeah,
these are the solar flares of the USS Enterprise.
Yes.
Sure. Solar flares. Yes. Those films are some of the best original series films because they just felt like an original series. It was just a really long one. It was just those were really fun.
Yeah.
And more money than yeah. And you got Leonard Nimoy in it. I thought they tied him in super cool and really well, and he did very well.
And those are the types of films that you don't necessarily have to know the deep dive to think they're enjoyable, but then they put those Easter eggs in for the people who do know the deep dive. Love that.
Yeah, well, that was me. I didn't know the deep dives when I watched that. I was just watching it because it looked cool, and looked like there was more pew-pews at the time.
Solar flares.
Many solar flares. Thank you, JJ.
Lens flares. Yeah. Okay, Tyson, what about you? Are you watching anything on Netflix?
On Netflix, I use that a lot for my rewatch stuff.
Okay.
Stuff I've been watching my whole life. Seinfeld is on Netflix. I've been watching and rewatching that since I was a fetus. Now, when did that come out? 89. So I think since I was one, I've been watching Seinfeld, and I still watch Seinfeld. And
Interesting.
then that's all you got? Interesting.
Yeah, I
No,
don't have
no
anything else.
Seinfeld fans here?
Not really. I mean,
I
I
don't
watched it
mind it.
because my
Tim,
parents watched it, but
you don't mind it. Okay, well, moving on. I'm the only Seinfeldian around here.
I've also never seen an
Um,
episode of Friends.
I've seen episodes of Friends, but I really get into Seinfeld. Those are ones, I mean, the writing and the performances of that. There's moments, I think, like these actors, these geniuses, these writers, everyone, I'm like, they crafted such amazing moments that are just magical stuff that they
I'm
all
not.
do.
I'm not
Even
a big sitcom person. Like I've never really
I
watched
think Seinfeld's the
sitcoms.
only sitcom I really do
Like Saved by the
or have ever done.
Bell, I've never really seen it. Like people our age were like raised on that. I've never really seen it. Friends, I didn't watch. Seinfeld was just on because
I
my
can
family
do
had it
the
on.
entire Saved by the Bell theme song for you right now if
I'm
you
good.
want.
So, my Uber just got
Okay.
here actually, so.
Okay. Well, when I wake up in the morning and the alarm gets out of the morning, I don't think I'll ever make it on time.
And muted.
Okay, sorry.
What else do you watch on Netflix?
Just in time to see the bus fly by. It's alright, cause okay.
I just realized that, and so we're recording this on August 8th.
Yeah.
Today released. I did not know this, or this would have been added to my watch list. Umbrella Academy season 4 dropped today.
Yeah, I didn't know it dropped today, but I knew it was going to be soon.
Yeah, I had forgotten that season 4 was even coming.
Yeah.
And while Tyson was regaling us with his singing abilities, I was checking out some of the newer shows on Netflix.
It's alright, cause I'm saved by the. It's alright, cause I'm saved by the. It's alright, cause I'm saved by the bell.
Definitely removing your audio. Anyway.
So anyway, I was
I'm
very
saying
excited.
over you, Tim. You want to do that take again?
I'm good. So yeah, I'm very very excited about season 4 of the Umbrella Academy, and
I've only
yeah,
done season 1 of that one.
it's a good show. I do enjoy that
I
quite a
should
bit.
keep going. Okay.
And looking forward to the next season of Arcane, whenever that comes.
So I'm going to be the female in the room. I'm actually really excited for Emily in Paris. It's coming out August 15th, so next week. I just watched a commercial because I've been watching a lot of the Olympics, which we'll get to in a minute. There was a
That's not a
commercial.
show. That's not a series. That's an
event.
We can't talk about it. Just because I can't talk about sports. So I'm
why can't you
saying
talk
we can't talk about it.
I'm definitely editing this out, but why can't you talk about sports?
I just don't like it. I don't know or like sports. So
you don't like sports
keep this in.
at all?
Not really.
Like just
far
blanket,
too nerdy
don't like
for.
sports.
I just don't give a shit.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's
my whole
fair.
family loves sports. They love it.
Do
I don't.
they?
Yeah. I think it's the whole. I don't think anyone's better than anyone.
Yeah.
I don't like the whole competition thing. That's why I like movies and art and stuff like that. Like, oh, you don't like it? Well, art's subjective. Everyone's entitled to their opinions. That's great. But then the whole sports mindset, I gotta be better than you. I'm the best. I'm like, I don't give a flying fuck.
No, I mean, that's totally fair. I completely disagree with it, but it's totally fair.
No, that's fine.
My hockey team is better than your hockey team. Anyway.
My mom can beat up your mom. So
she probably can, yeah. So
I love sports. Anyway, I just watched a commercial of one of the athletes from the Olympics and Lily Collins, who plays Emily in Emily in Paris. They were doing a skit that was super cute. So that's coming out soon on Netflix. I've watched all of the episodes of that.
I don't know what Emily in Paris is. So for our fellow viewers who don't know,
for the guys is what he's trying to say. For the guys.
No, I'll watch girl stuff too. I honestly don't know.
I do too. I just don't know this one.
So it's a drama on Netflix. It has Lily Collins in it, like I just said. And she is an American intern that is in the fashion industry, and she gets sent over by her company to France to help with an agency that they have over there. And I think this is going to be season 4. I would have to double check
Oh,
that, but I greatly enjoy it. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of Sex in the City with the fashion in it, but I've actually never seen Sex in the City, so I can't say that with confidence.
I haven't either.
But yeah, it's just fun. I love the French language. I know
Good.
French. I love Paris.
You know Francais, what, how do you say it? Yeah, I was right.
Français.
Parlez-vous français?
Oui.
Oh,
Un
oui,
peu.
oui. Oh.
You're
Yeah,
halfway
I
there,
was
dude.
just yeah,
Yeah, I got it.
almost. You just need to replace your hat with a beret.
A beret. I'll replace my hat with a beret.
With a beret. Get a new beret, and you gonna be a Frenchie.
Oh.
Yeah, we're not going off the rails. This isn't too late at night at all.
We lost Michelle. All right, Tim, what else are you watching?
Sorry.
Well, excuse Michelle from the rest of the convo session.
So, I think you killed
Thank
her
you.
with the
This has been watching now with. I've watched enough Beauty and the Beast growing up. I got
Okay.
Pierre.
That was so stupid. I literally I could not think of the word for beret, and I kept wanting to say
Bidet.
bidet. And I was just trying not to tell you to put a
that
bidet
would
on
be a
your
little
head.
bit different. Yeah,
Same thing.
just slightly.
Close enough.
Okay. That's
Different
all probably going to get
hemispheres of the
edited out.
body.
Anyway.
That's a
That's
great
my
blooper.
favorite part of this whole thing so
Oh,
far.
shit.
All right, so
Blooper my ass. That's a highlight.
Here's a legitimate question for you. Now, one show that, because I did not have Netflix for a couple years, has anybody watched Peaky Blinders? Is that any good?
I need to.
Okay, because
that's on my list for sure.
Yeah, I love Cillian Murphy. I think he's an amazing actor. I've been wanting to watch that show, and I was just
me too. That's on my list.
I know Lily does a lot of the Korean horror stuff on couchsoup.com, all the articles. I did try to watch Sweet Home. I didn't love it, but I also didn't finish the episode. So I can't say I really liked Sweet Home. My husband and I just recently went on a binge of the Netflix reality shows like Barbecue Showdown and The Mole.
I don't do reality, so I don't know any of these.
At all? You don't do sports and you don't do reality?
No, I like my stories crafted. Well, I mean, I know reality is they're faking reality a lot in those, but I like me a good structured.
I think there's a
created
difference.
Something narrative.
I'm not a big reality fan, but I will watch certain reality shows if there's something productive about the show. Like if they're building something, they're crafting something, they're doing something other than just,
You were a Mythbusters fan, I imagine.
Yeah, I loved Mythbusters. Yeah. I couldn't hardly say it. But I love that show.
Can't say berets, can't say Mythbusters.
Mythbusters. But there's all these car rebuild shows on Netflix where they pull cars out of the junkyards and they put those together. So those I like quite a bit.
Yeah, and Barbecue Showdown is a cooking show technically, but it's a competition cooking show.
Right.
But you're getting to see how their skill develops and
right, but something's being created. It's not just who has the more Porsches in the driveway or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you just reminded me, I really like this one reality show where they create stuff. Face Off.
Yeah.
On the Sci-Fi Network.
It's on Netflix
they would make. Oh, it is on Netflix now. They create special effects, makeup, creature suits, and stuff like that.
Hadn't heard of that one.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Balls.
It's very good.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, that and Forged in Fire. I like that one. Forged in Fire is really cool. They make swords and knives and things on the show.
Oh, there is a glass blower show. We do watch that as well. I think the big Netflix thing that a lot of people are anticipating is Stranger Things 5, which should be coming out next year.
Right.
I forgot his name.
Finn Wolfhard.
The curly-haired kid.
Oh, Gaten Matarazzo.
Yes. My niece is a huge fan of that show and a fan of his. and he came to Fan X in Salt Lake, and my niece was not able to attend, and so I was able to get his autograph for my niece.
Very cool.
And he was I can't remember how many years ago this was, but he's just a polite, sweet kid.
Nice.
I told him, because you only have limited time with them, and so I was like, man, in the first of season 1, you were having me laugh the most out of everyone else, and then I think season 2 had just come out. I was like, and then by the end of season 2, you had me bawling, you had me crying, because I think that was the one when he's at the dance.
Oh yeah, the dance.
And he's not dancing with anyone. It's like, dude, that's me. I remember that at every single dance I went to. Good, sweet kid.
Okay, so the next platform we have is Hulu. Does anybody watch anything on Hulu, or does anybody have it?
I got one more for Netflix.
Okay.
Another one of my rewatches.
Sure.
All the time. Arrested Development.
Okay.
Oh yeah, solid.
Oh my gosh, solid.
That
So
the writing
funny.
on
I was
that
just
show
watching clips today. Oh yeah.
was way ahead of its time.
What's fun to rewatch that one is there's so many jokes that I've missed, even though I've watched it numerous times. It's like, I never caught that. That was super funny and super clever.
Love
Just
that
sneak
show.
them in there.
Oh yeah, those are fascinating. I love that. You catch all that on rewatches.
Absolutely.
So for Hulu, I highly recommend Only Murders in the Building.
Very good.
I
New
haven't
season
seen the
coming,
third
too.
season, but yeah.
There is, right?
Yeah, season 4 is on its
Yeah.
way.
Okay.
Yeah, they're starting to advertise it.
You can't get much
I heard
better
3
than
was
that
great.
show.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
That was my introduction to Selena Gomez. I hadn't seen her on anything, and I was super impressed with her because
Same.
she's with 2
Icons.
comic icons.
Yeah.
And you'd think she's got I gotta out zany them.
No, she holds her own very well.
Played, and it worked so well. Those 3 together are fantastic.
I was hesitant because of her, because I was like, oh great, they just brought in some pop star, because she was a singer before, and I didn't like any of her music.
And you'd think it was we gotta appeal to the younger audience, kind of like throw in their character.
I thought that's what they brought her in for, just to try to make the show appeal to a younger audience and all the. Nope. She's great. She's just a great character actor in that show, and she holds her own in the scenes where it's her as her character. She holds it strong, and I've been very impressed.
Agreed.
With Selena Gomez in that show, and it would make me go watch her on other things.
Even the writers, they're staying so consistent through all the seasons. Like all of the seasons of that show are just so good. And you're right, the acting is just amazing. All of the characters they can bring in, all the actors and actresses they bring in. Oh my gosh. It's so fun. And then I
could rewatch season 1 again right now and go to 2, and I still haven't seen 3, and I need to go into 3. But I'm just remembering stuff that I got 2 moments from that show, one from season 1 and then one from season 2 that I think are just some of the funniest things I've ever seen. But I love on season 1, it's showing Selena Gomez's character, and she's getting texts from Steve Martin's character, and it's showing the bubbles come up, and he's doing all of these autocorrect fails. Just these old man fails, and trying to correct it and doing bad, and then it sends balloons and confetti and stuff like that. That is hilarious. Really funny.
And then
season 2.
Yeah, go ahead.
One more. Season 2, it's Martin Short. He's holding I'm spoiling season 2 for people. He's holding the murder weapon that they're being framed for, the knife and stuff, and it's still got blood on it and stuff, and they're talking, and then Martin Short ultimately goes, "Why am I still holding this knife?" And he chucks it up into the ceiling.
And it sticks in the ceiling.
Yeah, it's just stuck in the ceiling. Someone comes in after, right? And they're just gonna don't look at that.
The other thing that I know that was on Hulu was Shogun, but I haven't actually gotten to see any.
I have not watched that yet.
I forgot about that one. I need to see that one too.
That's on.
We saw the trailer on Trailer Talk, and I'm like, oh, this looks beautiful.
Received
the
really
cinematography
great reviews. Yeah.
It's on my to watch list. I have not gotten around to watching it yet, but
That one just moved up in my watch list. I forgot about it.
Yeah. And then
coming up here pretty
one
quick.
that my husband and I watched regularly because it released weekly was Death and Other Details. I did an article on it. It was
I don't know that one.
phenomenal. So much fun. It's a very typical trope. Very who is the new guy? Daniel Craig.
Not that new. He's
Glass
done as Bond.
Onion. No, so it's your very typical like whodunit, essentially, murder mystery. But the way they did it and the way they twisted the characters together is very unique, and they also gave it kind of a modern digital age twist, which was super fun. Both my husband and I, thoroughly enjoyed it. We thought it was very fun. Look up Booze, Boobs, and reviews on it on couchsoup.com. I liked it a lot. It was fun.
I usually search one of those in my browser.
Not
frequently.
OnlyFans. We're talking about Couch Soup, sir.
Hey, I didn't say which of those words I would search. It could be booze.
It was not. Anyway.
Hey, but you just reminded me of something, saying like it's a typical trope, the detective mystery thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm reminded of, I absolutely love Ron Howard's masterclass on directing. This episode of Watch Now is brought to you by Masterclass. No, it's not. That'd be awesome. But I remember him saying in the, you want me to take that back?
I'm never inviting you back.
That's fair. Just edit me out completely.
I'm kidding.
So you reminded me when you were saying it's a typical detective whodunit trope, but in Ron Howard's masterclass on directing, I remember him saying, I love it, by the way. It's super inspiring and helpful. And he said, it's like, we have typical things, typical genres, stuff we've seen a million times. I think he brought up La La Land, saying, I haven't seen La La Land, so I can't remember it's a musical, right? But it's also a romance and stuff. So they found a tried and true genre that we're all familiar with, but they made it fresh. And that's what this show sounds like. It took something that's been done before, but it does it in a unique, fun spin way.
Completely.
Its own unique way.
Yeah, that's a good point. And they even did it really smartly because it's based off of a ship. So your cast is limited, your stories are a little bit limited. So they did it really smart, and then they were able to just twist the storylines together, and it was really nice. It was nicely done.
Cool.
What about you, Tim, on Hulu?
All right, so for me on Hulu, there's a couple shows that I watch with pretty much with regularity. One that I'm going to start watching here shortly. So the two that I watch with regularity, one because I have an absolute man crush on him, and that's Nathan Fillion's The Rookie.
Okay.
So Nathan, if you're watching, I'd love to have you on the FSF podcast. Please come be a guest. I promise I will only man crush giggle for the first 30 seconds. Anyway,
he'd love to invite you to his couch to watch The Rookie with Tim.
No.
And cuddle. Oh.
No.
All right, Nathan, that's just my invitation. I'll watch it with you.
Well, I love The Rookie. It's got it's a dramedy, so there's drama, there's comedy. And because the way and I love the way that they do the body cam footage in the show. So so you're watching this dramedy, and all of a sudden you're in an episode of Cops, and you're like, all right, yay! And it's just I like all those aspects of it, and I like the way that they worked it all together. I will like the way the storyline's progressing, where it's kind of where it's going. So, but that show's been a lot of fun for me because I was highly disappointed.
That brings up
when Castle was done. So
that brings up for me, well, two things, but it goes back to what I was saying Ron Howard said, because I mean the cop genre, the cop TV show genre has been done a million times, but they did it fresh.
Yeah,
they found a unique way in with a different character and a different cinematic style to blend. That's great.
That's a good point.
And
you
then,
could even put that towards like Resident Alien stuff has been done.
Yeah,
they did it fresh, and it's really good.
Another spin on it. Yep. The other show,
put Alan Tudyk in anything too, and he's gonna make it.
I mean, come on,
Alan Tudyk.
He is the voice of a chicken, and it's amazing. So,
His voice of, are we going to get to Resident Alien? What's that one streaming
That
on?
was on
I think
Netflix,
that
so
one's,
I skipped
It's
over that
also on
one.
Peacock, which is where I watch it.
Perfect.
okay,
So,
if we get into Peacock, I'll talk about it then, because that's,
oh, we're gonna talk about it. Trust me, because that's one of my, and I'm actually kind of binging it right now. Is Criminal Minds.
Oh, okay.
And that has like 15 seasons of it, and I never got into it while it was airing for whatever reason. And I don't know why, because and I know Mandy Patinkin's only in it for a few seasons, but I love
the first couple, I think,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think he leaves in like 4 or 5, and I'm in
Hmm.
season 3, I think. But the other guy, who also leaves after a few seasons, Thomas. He plays Aaron Hotchner. Yeah, I really like him. I think he's a really good actor. It's just a really good cast, really well done. My favorite character is Dr. Reed, who's just basically a more sociable Sheldon Cooper, and he's actually he brings a little bit of nerdy humor into the show, and so I like that. But it's a really well done show, and it really makes you worry about humanity, and you see why we need Star Trek. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yes.
And a lot of their serial killers and their cases and stuff were based on
on real life, and that's what really
stuff.
scares me.
That's what's scary, yeah.
Now the show that just got added, it's only it's in season 12. It just had 2 episodes drop over the last couple weeks. Futurama's back out, and I need to get caught up on that. So
Is it like mid 2000s? What year is it?
yeah, it's back, baby. Season 12.
I did not know that.
Yeah, episodes 1 and 2 are out. Episode 3 comes Monday. So Monday at midnight it'll be released. So I'm looking
Don't tell
forward
my
to
husband
that.
I'm not watching that.
Yeah. So, but those are the 3. I mean, there's a few others that I squeeze in every now and then, but if it's any regularity, it's The Rookie or Criminal Minds, and very soon to be Futurama. So
yeah, Shogun is the one that I'm missing out on Hulu. I know Hulu does a lot of really good originals, and they also do a lot of really big reruns, like The Rookie and stuff like that. But some of their originals are actually really fun. I don't have time with Hulu, to be honest, because Netflix takes up a lot of my time. I'm really loyal to Netflix. Because I remember when Netflix and Hulu were the first 2 like streaming platforms, and I've had both since the beginning, and I've just always preferred Netflix, so I'm really loyal to it.
Well, and I'll be honest with you, I'm starting just to go away from Hulu more. Hulu's kind of pissing me off right now because they're just well, yeah, because okay, so everybody's raising their rates. I get that, but we went from having no commercials to now we have limited commercials, and and we have to pay more to get back to no commercials. But Top Golf, you're a wonderful golf company, and I've been to your establishment several times. But if I see that god dang Top Golf free cheeseburger commercial one more time, I'm gonna go wrap a 9-iron around somebody's head. Anyway, so
This episode of Watching Now is brought to you by Top Golf.
It's brought to you by Criminal Minds.
Correct.
Yes. And we just lost our Hulu sponsor. Thanks, Tim.
You're very welcome. But yeah, so that's my biggest issue right now with Hulu. So I mean, there's a couple things that I realize have just went back to Netflix, by the way. Like one of my all-time favorite shows is How I Met Your Mother. I just realized that went back to Netflix, and I can now watch that commercial free. So I was watching that on Hulu a little bit. I'll be watching that on Netflix. So
okay, Tyson, what about you? Anything on Hulu?
Yes. First, Tim was talking about The Rookie. You guys know my ties with The Rookie, right?
The drink, Mai Tai?
Yes.
I just really liked how much I threw you off on that. Go ahead.
It's fine. You can throw me off. I'm drunk on it right now.
Continue.
But my ties with The Rookie is during the writers and actors strikes, there was a lot of crew members out of work, and through PJ Haarmsa's connection, co-founder and producer of Couch Soup, who helped me make my teaser. He's like, I just got you the director of photography from The Rookie to help shoot your teaser.
Didn't he also
And
do
I,
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
yes, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
He shot and worked with PJ on Con Man.
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned both Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk, who are both awesome on Con Man.
Exactly.
And yes, we're all big fans of that here. But anyway, so yeah, a few of the crew members from The Rookie that PJ's friends with and has worked with, they helped shoot my teaser, my proof of concept for my movie, and made it look
Amazing.
That's cool.
I got 2 more Hulu ones that are both older shows, but it was Hulu was my introduction to watching Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that
I've
show. That's a
never
good
heard
one.
of
So
that.
good. I've rewatched that one
Kristen
a couple
Ritter,
times, a few
James
times now.
Vanderbeek.
Kristen Ritter right there. Huge fan of hers.
Yeah.
That's a great show.
And she is so funny in it. The writing is fun and funny and witty, but then also her performance and a few other people's performance, her doing weird. There's so many gifs you can take from that show, all from Kristen Ritter's facial reactions and dances and things like that. So funny. And I've never seen James Vanderbeek in anything, I don't think. But James Vanderbeek is in Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23
As
James
James
Vanderbeek.
Vanderbeek.
What is
And
that
he is
about?
so good and so funny. Tim, do you want to do it or
Sure.
want me to?
So that the whole premise of that show is about a girl who moves from a Midwestern town to, I think it's New York City, and somehow she ends up as a roommate with Christian Ritter's character, who's just a whole lot of something. And
Is it like Wednesday?
it's
the roommate differences in Wednesday? Did
they're
anybody watch
night
that
and
on
day.
Netflix?
Yeah, the
Okay.
two girls are night and day difference. But Kristen Ritter's character, it knows anyone who's famous, and she's like besties with James Vanderbeek, who plays a caricature of what people think James Vanderbeek is and what James Vanderbeek is like, and all these things, and it's hysterical.
So funny.
Yeah,
Kristen Ritter's character is a bit of a psychopath, a little bit, but she does have a
is the
heart.
bee in Apartment
She
23. So
yeah, she uses people, she takes advantage, but she's not all that
I
evil
feel like
and
she
just a
plays.
partier.
I feel like she plays Psycho kind of well.
Jessica Jones.
Hey.
Jessica Jones isn't a psycho.
No, she's amazing.
Kilgrave's the psycho.
Yeah.
Kilgrave, right here. David Tennant also got his autograph. Also. Super awesome. Great guy.
Yeah.
Also.
I would like to welcome Otis is here with us. He is our Couch Soup intern, and yes, they put us in charge of somebody. Don't ask us. But Otis, what do you love about Couch Soup, and where can they find you?
I've been just loving the opportunity to write like really authentically. I'm very used to having to like meet a certain goal or a need or like having like really complex tonal guides. So just having like just be yourself and to just genuinely write about what I'm already passionate about. It's really nice, and everyone's been really encouraging. It's been a very supportive environment. So that's been super great. I don't have much of my social media stuff set up yet. So for now, just on Couch Soup, if you're interested in like articles on new art apps like Kara or like racial representation in Dungeons and Dragons, stuff like that, then I got some articles about that out. For now, that's where I'm at. I'm trying to expand and branch out more. It's real difficult to set up like 5 different social medias, and they're all really empty right now because I'm just barely getting out into the world.
Amazing. I love it. And your articles are very good.
Thank you.
They're very good.
I tuned in on the drive here, so I'm at least like
Amazing.
at least know what's been discussed and where
nice
we're at
to
in the
meet you,
conversation.
Otis. I'm Tyson.
Would you shut
I'm
up
Tim.
a second?
Hello.
Everybody
if I'm going to be talking with them, acting like we're friends, I'm going to at least introduce myself.
Oh my god.
I'm not playing by your rules anymore.
Obviously. Were you ever?
Even less so now. I am like indictively like, nope.
I muted Tyson at the last Zoom, and he thought I was joking because he was going to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine spoilers. So I literally muted him.
I was
And then,
not.
like 20 minutes in, he texted the chat and was like, "You actually muted me. I've been talking this
I'm
entire
still
time."
muted?
And I was
Yeah.
like, "No, I told you I muted you. I wasn't going to risk it."
Fuck you very much.
No. Okay.
It wasn't a joke.
So we have been discussing what we were watching on Netflix and Hulu. We'll come back to you on those because
Alright.
Tim was discussing Hulu and some of the price changes on it, which leads me into my hateful discussion of
Okay.
Disney and the streaming platform for Disney Plus. If anybody has it, what are you guys watching on it? Tim, you go first. Actually,
Pick me.
I was gonna say, do I want you to go first? Go ahead.
So yeah, I would be amiss and lost in this life without Disney Plus. I spend a lot of time on Disney Plus because I am a Star Wars-aholic. Hi, I'm Tim, and I'm addicted to Star Wars.
That's absolutely
Hi,
accurate.
Tim.
It's completely accurate. The majority of what you see behind me is Star Wars. There's some Marvel, some DC, a little bit of Starship Troopers down over in that corner over there. But the majority of everything behind me, if it's Funko Pop wise, is Star Wars. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. So I start off chronologically watching Star Wars in timeline order. I watch it all the way to the end. When the Rise of Skywalker ends, I start over at the beginning and I go again. That's just kind of my jam. And I'm back to Ahsoka. I've just finished the first episode of Ahsoka, and I'm very excited to go back through that because knowing now that when I go through the rest of the series and the movies, and when I am done with Rise of Skywalker, I get to start with the Acolyte, which just finished, and I loved that show, and so I'm excited to go back and rewatch that in timeline order. But that's not the only thing I watch on Disney Plus.
Oh.
So I'm also a big sports fan. I don't know if you can see, but there's my Red Wings gear back there. Like anyway, the jersey and the goalie helmet.
I love sports.
Lies. Anyway, I do love the ESPN connection, and they have the 30 for 30 series, and those are really cool. Those are documentary style, movies about different things that have happened in sports history. And so some of them are very accurate to me and what things that I remember from growing up or as a young man, and so being able to go back and watch those and from a documentary setting, I like documentaries, by the way. So for me, those are very kind of cool. And you don't have to be a sports fan to watch ESPN 30 from 30s and enjoy the stories that are being told, because a lot of times they focus on the human connection between. So there was the home run chase between Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire, a few years back. I say a few years back like it wasn't 20 years ago.
Right.
But they focused on the human aspect of who Sammy Sosa is and what he was going through during that time, who Mark McGwire is, what he was going through during that time, and what it meant to the Maris family to have that record broken, and what it meant for them to go there night after night to see if it would be broken. So anyway, that's all I'm saying. That's where I'm hanging out lately on Disney Plus.
This is really poor podcast outlining, but you reminded me of a couple of things that I was watching on Netflix because we had discussed that previously. Have you ever watched Receiver or Quarterback on Netflix?
No, I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Who's the receiver and who's the giver?
If you really like American football, I highly recommend them, especially because they get released in July, which is really perfect, like in between football seasons, which football is coming back, thank goodness. But last year they did Quarterback.
So excited.
And they followed 4 quarterbacks from the NFL, and then this season,
that's what you mean by
Receiver,
yes.
And they followed, I think, 5 receivers in the NFL, and it was phenomenal. It's very well put together. It's very similar to Hard Knocks on I don't remember what that's on. Max.
It's on HBO.
Okay.
HBO Max.
Very similar to Hard Knocks, but it's
love Hard Knocks.
More involved
instead
of the team, it's involved in the individual athlete's life, and you get to see them prepare for the week
very cool.
following and their big games, and like it's
Yeah, I watched the
top-tier
quarterback
football.
one. I have not watched the receiver one, so I'll have to go back and watch the receiver
Receiver
one.
is good. And then on Hulu, actually, because you mentioned documentaries, they have this documentary. I'm huge in documentaries called American Made O.J. Simpson, I believe is what it's called. One of the best documentaries. No, it's called, I'm sorry, Made in America, the O.J. Simpson story. One of the best documentaries I've ever seen, and it's strictly obviously about OJ and the trial and everything after it. It is so well done as a documentary. It brings you into full true crime, which I love. I love a true crime documentary. And again, it has some ties to football. So what is that face? What is that face?
That's just Tim's face.
It's a very cutting
Resting
story.
Tim face.
Wow.
Ayo.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Tyson,
you're so pleased with yourself.
What are you watching on Disney, sir?
Disney is killing it for me. Like, I'm a huge Star Wars fan as well with Tim, have been my whole life. Marvel fanboy all the way. I've seen like every Marvel thing ever, and they got it all. And I'm liking the old stuff and the new stuff. I love the old Disney cartoons, the animated movies, your Lion Kings, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast. They got Robin Hood, Sword in the Stone. It's got it all on there.
Wow. Tell me
You
you're
could sound
8 without telling me you're 8.
a little more enthusiastic. Wow. Anyways.
Insert Owen Wilson. Wow.
Wow.
So
Owen Wilson on Loki season 1 and season 2, also on Disney Plus.
So you just
Bringing
live
it
in
back
Disney,
around.
huh?
Yeah, Disney Plus is killing it for me, and Tim reminded me, he's talking about the documentaries on there. They got so much, since I'm a movie filmmaking nerd, it takes you behind the curtain too with all of these Marvel behind the scenes, Star Wars behind the scenes,
cool
the
stuff.
ILM documentary on Disney Plus. You guys seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Talking about the making of Industrial Light and Magic.
Yeah, very cool.
So enlightening, so great.
Enlightening, industrial lighting and magic.
Industrial lightning and my magic.
Okay.
But I just truly, genuinely love that stuff. It's part of the reason I learned I wanted to be a filmmaker and make movies, because I've loved movies my whole life, but everybody loves movies. But once I started seeing the behind the scenes and actually the making of the magic, I was like, I'm fascinated by the process of how it's made. How I got, seeing how the sausage is made. It's like, oh, I don't just love the end product, I love the process as well. And so they have fantastic. Always go with sausage.
Got it. Okay.
So speaking of Star Wars documentaries, even though this is not on Disney Plus, to the best of my knowledge, there's one out there that you might want to check out, Tyson. It's called Force of Sound. It's made by a gentleman named Clayton Sandell. Clayton worked for ABC at the time. He works for Scripps News Service now as a correspondent. But it goes through, and I think it's around the time of The Last Jedi. But they show how they came up with all the sounds for the movie, like the coins being deposited into BB-8, BB-8 shooting all the coins, the rolling sound of BB-8, all the different things that you hear in that movie. They go through all those different sounds. So it's kind of cool. It's totally worth it.
So they break down just that specific movie, or do they go back to like your Ben Burt's and stuff? Or
I think just specifically that movie, if I'm remembering correctly. It's only about 30 minutes long. It's a pretty easy watch.
Okay.
But yeah, it's called The Force of Sound. It's worth it's a good watch.
Sure. I'll watch the behind the scenes for movies and stuff that I don't even like.
That's one part of Star Wars that gets like glossed over a lot, is it has such good sound design, and it's good because you don't think about it and it just feels so intrinsic, but you play like the sound of a lightsaber opening up and everyone knows what that is. And I think Rogue One had like a really special thing where Darth Vader's reveal and like his lightsaber opens up and I think I saw someone do a breakdown where it's hard to notice, but they actually changed the pitch of the lightsaber opening up to match the like operatic,
Oh,
scary song playing over it, which is it's rarely ever changed, but it fits
ooh,
and like makes the scene work so much better. So that attention is amazing.
That's
Tim,
so
It's
yeah,
one of my
cool.
favorite scenes in all of Star Wars is like showing Darth Vader, but
that was a
actually scary
fantastic
for
scene.
once.
Mm,
I may have yelled during that part in the movie theater.
I think I did
I'm
too.
gonna
Yeah.
say that's a yes.
But you bring up an excellent point because usually you don't notice the sound, but unless the sound is off, if the sound is not good, then you most certainly notice
For
the sound
sure,
and go,
for
"What
sure.
Oh
is
yeah.
wrong with this scene?" But your ears are trained, so they have to dial that in. And I love that you said they changed it with the music. That's another thing with filmmaking is when everything is banging on all cylinders and it's this beautiful symphony.
Otis, what are you watching
Okay.
on Disney?
I'm for me on Disney Plus. I'm finally getting around to watching X-Men '97. I've really
Okay.
been on
Nice.
like an older animation
I
style
enjoyed it.
stint. If we get into like Amazon Prime, I'll get back to this again. But it's really neat seeing them revive older animation styles, especially because with like modern software and the more modern animation pipelines we have, they can just pump that stuff out so quickly. So there's a lot more of a focus in the writers' room, and there's a lot more of a focus on like getting prescient themes and topics put out there. And the number of reactions I'm seeing to people, even like more people towards my age, just thinking like, oh wow, like Magneto is being presented in such a more morally gray way, and he's also a weird like gilf in the speedo. I'd never seen Magneto shown like that. There's a lot of glamour shots of some of the characters, but it's just neat seeing these older animation styles make a comeback and seeing people still appreciate them and not being taken out of like, oh, it's not realistic. No, people like that. People like the vintage look, and I've only ever seen this in one other place before, which is it's a weird way for me to bring it up, but South Park, in case you didn't know, their animation style hasn't changed in years, but the programs they use to animate have constantly been updated. They use the
Oh,
same software that was used to make the original Frozen, the like that one that was lauded for being so advanced to make snow look realistic. So they use that super powerful machine, like something that can like simulate worlds, and they're using it to make little paper animations. And because it's so overpowered, they can spend all their time in the writers' room and then pump out the animations like within a day or two of actually releasing the episode because it's so overtuned. So we're kind of seeing that again with these older styles. It's like once they figure out how to integrate that older style into modern animation pipelines, we get such higher quality writing because we can afford the time to actually invest in that. So anytime I see like older animation styles or like something that just like is a little more retro, I think like, oh, okay, the writers' room must be amazing there because they're actually given leeway for once.
you bring up some excellent points that I hadn't realized or
Yeah.
thought of that the animation's been how they produce it. The technology has been updated, and so they can focus on these. And I thought the stories in X-Men '97 were
Oh, they're
great, and
fantastic.
the OG voice actors coming back and killing it and doing amazing. They were so smart, I think, to just to do
Oh
that
yeah.
show, but then to remain insanely faithful
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
original series that came out in the
Mm-hmm.
90s. But that animation style, it looks akin to the old style, but it's so beautiful. It's in a polished, almost new way. I don't know how to describe how that animation looks so
Yeah.
beautiful in that
The
series.
fact that you can watch all of X-Men the animated series, complete that series, go right to X-Men '97 and not lose a beat
Hmm.
is a testament to how good both of those
So
shows
cool.
are.
Oh yeah.
That's so fun.
Tim, bring up your Beast autograph again. You were just showing us before the show. You got a You've talked to a few of those
I have,
actors,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
a
I've
few
talked
of
to
those,
several of
yeah.
them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, about four, I believe, four of the voice
Cool.
actors.
Wow.
As far as Disney goes for me, I don't watch it. I don't like Disney. So we're gonna
We just lost another sponsorship, so thanks. That's
no.
a big one to lose too.
I'm one of those really annoying people of like Disney is one of those corporations kind of just taking over the world with no thoughts on actual human life, and they just want to be money grabbers, which is why they're buying Marvel and Lucasfilms and 20th Century Fox, and I could keep going. So I do have Disney. Like, I don't pay for it, but I do have it. I don't watch it very often. The only thing that I would watch on there are some of the new Marvel series. We did watch WandaVision, and we watched...
I love
There was
WandaVision.
something
I think it's
else.
one of the most creative things Marvel has
WandaVision
ever
was
done.
very good. The other thing we watched was that Jeff Goldblum series. I don't know if anybody
Oh,
watched
loved that.
that.
Yeah,
I
National
haven't seen it.
Geographic series. That's great.
Yeah, but I don't remember the name of it. It was almost like the Try Guys, but it was for Jeff Goldblum on Disney. If anybody knows what the Try Guys are.
It's basically Jeff
I've heard of
Goldblum
it.
just giving free reign to do whatever he wanted, talk about whatever he wanted. And
It was
Jeff
awesome.
Goldblum being Jeff Goldblum
Yes.
and being
oh yeah,
given free reign to be Jeff Goldblum.
Yep.
So-
The World According to Jeff Goldblum. That's
Yes!
yeah.
Thank you for
Ah.
looking it up.
it's so good. Like in one episode,
It's
he
so good.
reviews ice cream. Another one, he's talking about blue jeans. And then
Did he do
there's
peanut
sneakers.
butter on one or something?
I think there's
Tattoos,
peanut
yeah.
butter in one. There was sneakers. And it's
Does
all
he talk about jazz? He's a jazz pianist.
yeah, it's all very
in
much
a band
just
and-
Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, he
It's
does
just
talk about
fantastic.
gaming even. He has a whole gaming
Yeah,
episode.
it does. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
if you like Jeff Goldblum in any stretch as an actor, for whatever reasons you just go watch it. It's
Yeah.
He's right there. He's on my wall
He's
as well.
awesome. That's awesome.
When
I
I was
would
getting
love
his-
to meet him.
he's great fun.
When I was getting his autograph, he just did his panel, and his panel ran long, and his panel was very Jeff Goldblum. He's wearing these tight leather black pants, and like that's one of the first things he says, like, "Oh, what do you think about these leather pants?" or something like these. And so then he's doing all of his autographs, and he's like literally got to go on his plane right after, and there's a huge line, so he's just got to pump them out. And the woman right before me, she gets her autograph, and as she's leaving, she goes, "Love the panel, by the way." And he goes, "Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it." And I get there and I go, "And I love you." And he goes, "Oh, thank you. I love you too." Great interaction.
Tim,
Jeff
have you
Goldblum's
interviewed him?
stand-up
Because the way
guy.
you answered one of those statements makes it seem like you interviewed him.
Goldblum?
Yeah.
Oh,
God,
that'd
I
be a big one
wish.
for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that'd be great.
No, I wish. He's
Arr.
that would
Yeah, that's the laugh.
I'd
That's
still
the
be
laugh right
giggling
there.
if I had.
I got it.
Thank you all for being here and talking to us about what all you're watching on all your favorite streaming platforms. And thank you to our audience for watching this special episode of Watching Now. So let's take a quick round really quickly to let the people know where to find you and what you're looking forward to seeing next. So Tim, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Tim. I'm the host of the FSF Podcast. We're a nerdy interview-based show. We have live shows on Monday, sometimes on Wednesday. Thursday we release our sidebar, and Friday we release interviews. So it's a whole week of nerdy fun. Come see us. You can find us on all socials at FSF Podcast, POP Cast. And you can also go to our website, fsfpodcast.com, and have links to everything. And I am looking
Amazing.
forward to The Skeleton Crew coming up on Disney in December. That's basically just going to be Space Goonies, and I am looking forward to that.
Yes.
Nice.
Goonies never say die. Tyson, you're next.
Here I am. I'm Tyson. You can find me on the Instagram at Tysonio1. You'll see pictures of a cat and raccoons and stuff like that, and some of my fandom stuff, some of which we've talked about tonight. Hell yeah.
Otis, what about you?
Well, for now, I mainly exist on Couch Soup. Still getting like public accounts set up for everything else. Once I do have those done, you could definitely look to me for some tabletop role-playing game content, as well as potentially some podcasting stuff. But for now, I just exist on Couch Soup. You can find me there under Otis, articles about TTRPGs, animated shows, and just modern struggles of artists and writers.
I love it. That's it for now for this Watching Now crew. This is actually going to be a two-parter. We recorded for a very long time, and we want you to see all of it. So this is going to be the very first part. And then in a week, you're going to see the second part of the rest of the platforms that we are watching things on. And in the meantime, keep it tuned into Couch Soup for all your nerdy needs, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.